ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. We are in the 15th verse, 15th chapter, 15th verse. We'll read that. I think we need Dvavimo Purushottama. We'll read from 15th. Sarvasya chaham hriti sannivishtaha matta smritirjnanamapohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyah vedanta krit veda videva chaham dvavimau purushau loke ksharaschakshara eva cha ksharas sarvani bhutani kūtastoksharamucchate. Bhagavan says only there are two people in this world. Dvau imau purushau. Two are the beings, or two are the things to be precise. Dvau imau purushau loke. One is called kshara, another is called akshara. Ksharascha aksharascha eva. And when we observe ourselves in our life, observe the world also, we see there are two categories only are there. That which perishes, that which is perishing but not seen. What is perishable, perceivable, and what is also perishing but not perceivable. Let me give you an example. Before we came to this world, or before we were born, sun was there or not? Moon was there. Earth was there. It is not that after we came, it came. No. It was already there, and then we were born into this world. Now, as we grow up, we saw our own grandparents die away, great-grandparents die away. And many other things in the world also we see perishing. Waters are receding. Sometime we will also see. Hopefully we don't see that. That earth is perishing, we won't see it. But we see all living beings undergoing changes, including our own body. Then as we grow up to become 60, 70, 80, we see our parents pass away. And if you happen to live more than that, then you see your siblings pass away. Sometimes parents outlive the children also. So all that are perceived as perishable are also there. But we do not see sun disappearing into oblivion, not available. Moon no more available, that is not there. We may see some of the mountains disappearing because we are replacing with buildings. But the sun, the moon, the sky, the air, the water, the fire, they are not disappearing. We are trying hard to make them also disappear. Ecological disturbances. Forests disappear, animals disappear, birds. So, Bhagavan says there are things that are continuously perishing. And it is always a logical conclusion. If something is changing, to observe that change, the one who is observing should be relatively changeless. Your body is changing, but you know how it was 20 years back. Now you see this now, the physical body, how it is right now. So the one who was witnessing at that time is the same one who is able to observe it now. So any change takes place on the platform of changeless. If the observer also changes along with that change, then the observation is not possible. When we go to sleep, we know that after waking up, the mind was not there. But when mind was going to the sleep, you are not observing mind going to sleep. You cannot. Because if you are awake and the mind is going to sleep, you will not sleep. The mind is disappearing in the sleep, and because we are always identified with the mind, along with the mind, we are also not there. But only on waking up we come to say, oh, I slept. So if you are the mind, you will not be able to observe the absence of the mind. Let us say that I am invited to a party and I go there and I see who is absent there. Right? Who did not come? Invited people who did not. If I myself have not gone, then how do I know who did not come? Somebody has to report to me. Who went to the party? So, if I have to observe the change, then I must be relatively changeless. If a thing is changing every 10 minutes and I change only once in a year, then I am relatively changeless compared to that which is rapidly changing. The earth is going around the sun. Many other planets are also going around the sun. But they are all at a different speed. So that's why they say that by the time 1 year takes place when you are in the earth, if somebody who is in the remote planet, probably it is maybe an hour. There are many such movies have come where the person goes and comes back. Somebody in the earth already 50 years old. That fellow only went for probably some 10 days. This is called relativity of time. So, the other one which is relatively changeless, which we cannot observe at all, it's called Kutastha, Aksharam. In Vedanta we say, Ishwara has got Maya, the power, the one which is governing all the changes, as his power called Maya. Maya Atitaha Parameshwaraha. Mayavan, Mayavi. Mayaviva Vijrumbhyate Bimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya. So Ichchaya. By his own will he does that. So if we understand Maya as the law of change and all other things are subject to change, that Maya is referred here as Aksharam. Not subject to change as much as the other one which changes. It is also changing, but not as much as the other one. But when do you say that that is subject to change? How do we know? So the Maya, which is also called Kutastha, as we saw in last class, Kutastha word is Kuta Ivastitaha. Like an anvil on which a ironsmith probably put his whatever be the iron thing which he heated up in the fire and hits to bring it to some shape. So while he is hitting, no doubt that iron or whatever be the thing, metal, that is constantly changing, while the anvil on which he is hitting, that is not. That is strong. In the same way, on the platform of Maya, the law of change, everything is undergoing change. And therefore, Kuta Ivastitaha. Or another meaning is Kute Stitaha, meaning it is hidden. It is hidden. You cannot see it. Like, for example, the law of gravity. Do you see it? We are all sitting there on the floor. Is it not the law is working? And only when you go outside this earth, you will see that how we are blessed with something which we never see. We take it for granted. Tomorrow it will be there or not. If you have a doubt, you will never go to sleep. Because tomorrow when you get up, you will still be on the bed only. You are not floating. So can you see it? No, I can't see it. Why I go that far? We see everything because of the sunlight. Have you ever seen the sun directly with your face? With your eyes, sorry? You can't. But of course, it is more visible than that law of gravity. Or many laws that are there of the nature. In a small little seed, the entire tree, what it should be, it is already programmed and kept. Right? Bijasyantari vankoro jagatidam prag nirvikalpam. So that very seed has got entire character of the tree already embedded there. And then you put it in the earth and then water it, etc. If whatever was already there, only it's coming out. Gurudev used to say, if you put the apple seed, mango tree won't come. It's already there, programmed. Similarly, the law of gravity and many other laws known to the science or non-known to the scientific world, are already there. We can't see it, but we experience it. I am talking and you are listening. The sound is traveling. Do you see it? When they found that, how it is done, then they developed the radio technology. How to send signals and capture it. Further developments took place on mobile technology is also of the same kind only. So now we take it for granted when I talk, somebody is able to listen. How do you know that? It is a space, air here, the space is having the ability to transmit the sound from one place to another. It is traveling there. So many of these laws are taken for granted by us, but which are unseen. So this kutasaha, meaning hidden, cannot be seen, but imperceptible, but it is there. Kute api stita. It is there. So Bhagavan therefore it calls it as kutastaha akshara uchyate. Aksharam is kutastaha. So in other words, there are two important ingredients in this world. One is subject to change, another is called law of change, the imperishable one. Now, this beautiful creation, no doubt, has been experienced by us all the time. And if the law has to work, there must be one who is maintaining that law. Right? No law can work without somebody governing that law. If you have crossed the red light and run, you have run. The police comes and gives you a ticket. So the police is representing, the cop is representing a law. But you said, I want to fight it. Then you have to go to the higher law. You have to go to a court, and there is a person sitting there as a judge who decides. And he is the one who is governing it. If he is maintaining it, yes, you had made this mistake, and therefore this is your punishment. Who decides? In the same way, if the law of the world, Maya, has to work, there must be someone who is making it work. By his mere presence, he doesn't do anything, he just present. You take our own body, Bhagavan also has said that I am there as a Ishwarananda Agni, digesting your food. We are breathing. Alright, we are breathing. We are taken for granted, I will breathe tomorrow also. When you go to bed, you don't have a doubt about it. Now, what is that which is there, because of which the body is able to continue to do all the work without you interfering with that? We can take it as life. Now, you have seen. In Chandogya Upanishad, that discussion comes. The teacher says, you take any tree or any plant, for example, and search the whole place, you will not find life. Where is life? Where exactly it is located? Brain? In our own body? Heart? Every cell? Every cell is multiplying. So where exactly is the location of life? In the absence of which everything collapses at once. You can't even see it. So here we should understand that there are visible change that is taking place, which is called Ksharam. And there is a law which is governing the law which is making it all work. It's called Aksharam. Then Bhagavan says, there is one who is governing that law, and that is who? Me. Simple. So who am I? I am neither Ksharam nor Aksharam. I am neither Ksharam nor Aksharam. Because I am not changing, nor I am the law of change in the form of making everything work by making sure that all the changes are taking place as a law. No, I am not a law, I am a Lord. Therefore he says in the verse number 17, we read here, repeat, Uttama Purushastvanyah Paramatmetyudahritah Yo lokatrayamavishya बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः. अन्यः, other. Uttama Purusha. Tu means indeed different from Ksharam and Aksharam. Is Anyaha Purusha. Other person, other being. Purusha does not mean it must have a form. No need. Because again here it said Ksharam is also Purusha. Meaning the entire world which we perceive as changing is one single Purusha, just for the sake of our discussion here, and the law that is governing is another Purusha. The third one is Uttama Purusha. Interesting in Bhagavan, in Sanskrit, there are three Purushas. In English, we have three of them: me, you, and they. Right? First person, second person, third person. First person is who? Me. Second person, you. Third person, somebody who is not here or far away. That tree, this chair, and I. So whatever is closer is this. Whatever is oneself is I. Whatever is far away is that. This, I. So that is third person. This is second person. I is first person. Interesting thing is, in Sanskrit, Pratama Purusha is you. Third person?
Prathama is third person.
Third person. Pratama, Dvitiya, Pratama Purusha is third person. I just purposely make mistakes so that they will catch me. Second person is, it's opposite, you see. Third person, in English, third person is Pratama Purusha in Sanskrit. And the person in front of me is Dvitiya, Madhyama. Or Madhyama, it's not Dvitiya, Madhyama. In between. But who is the here subject? It's called Uttama Purusha. Uttama means the best. I am the best. Uttama Purusha. See, it's interesting because without this Uttama, without I, there cannot be any reference to this or that. Right?
Yeah.
Without I, can I refer to anything as this or that? I comes first. And then only, because I am present, I can refer something as this or something as that. So who is the best here? Who is the most important here? Aham. So, Aham is Uttama Purusha. Bhagavan here says, than the Ksharam and Aksharam, the third one, not the third, Anya, other than that, is one thing called Uttama Purusha. And who is that Uttama Purusha? Paramatma. The Supreme Self is also referred as Ishwara. Paramatma iti udahritaha is referred as, is known as, is called as udahritaha. It is referred or called as Paramatma. That very Paramatma is all-pervading presence he is. Therefore, yaha lokatrayam avishya. Trilokan avishya. All the three worlds he covers. And what does he do? Bibharti, maintains, supports. And he is avyaya, imperishable Ishwaraha. So what the Shabda Ishwaraha should be understood, Ishwaraha is not directly equal to Paramatma. The Paramatma with the Upadhi called Maya, with the power called Maya, when that he make, or in his presence when the Maya starts to express itself as Aksharam, by which it is supporting all Aksharam, then only that Paramatma assumes the so-called role of Ishvara. A president is a president only when there is a country. I am a president of what? Nothing. I am just a resident. If I am not a president, I am just a resident. P comes only when you have a power. P, power plus resident, called president. I am a parent. How many children you have? None. Now how will you become parent? You are just paying rent, that's all.
Parent.
I am not a parent if I don't have children. So, relation. Only when there is a relation, then there is role. So we get up in the morning and play many, many different roles, and therefore we are playing the role. We are in the payroll. So therefore we are jivas. Jivas are what? A relative entity. But when you fold into yourself and we have no relationship, anything at all, then you are now nothing to do with the world. Then you are what? Paramatma only. So Ishvara is also relative role only. As the Mayatita Purusha, Mayatita Purusha means one who has beyond the Maya, but it is having the power of Maya to take care of the entire creation. Mayavan. So one who has the power of Maya. So Ishvaraha Bibharti, na Paramatma. I want to make that point clear to you. Paramatma is not the maintainer, supporter, none of these role he plays. But when he takes up the role of being a maintainer or sustainer of this world, then he takes that role called Ishvaraha, and that is possible only when he has the absolute power called Maya. So, Akshara is the power of Ishvara. Lokatrayam avishya. Avishya. Avesha means to enter. Avishya, having entered. Having entered means engaging in entire. See, it is like, you must understand what do you mean by entry. So, when you take a cup of milk and you put the sugar, can you see it moving inside? It spreads. Right there it spreads. And you cannot see it slowly going one by step, 2 steps. No. Or you take a cup of water and put a little pinch of salt. Immediately, the entire cup that you have of water will become salty. But we cannot understand how Bhagavan can be the one who will be entering his creation. In Taittiriya Upanishad said, Tat srishtva tadevanupravishat. Tat srishtva lokam srishtva tadevanupravishat. He enters. Tadanupravishya. Having entered, Satyacha bhavat niruktam cha nilayanam cha nilayam cha satyam cha hrutam cha. Having entered this entire creation, there is no more discrimination. Whatever is seen, whatever is unseen. Whatever is known, whatever is unknown. Whatever is good, whatever is bad. Whatever is good and evil. Everything is equally spread, entered by the Lord. Just like the sun, when it rises up in the horizon, immediately the entire place is spread by the light. It doesn't discriminate. I don't want to go there in this side. I don't want to go to that side. No. It is only to say entire creation is completely enveloped by Him. Yaha lokatrayam avishya. Now the question is, see, when you entering means there is a time factor involved. So it is easy to say that Bhagavan created the world and then decided to enter on a muhurtam. On a day, okay, good time to enter into this. It is for our understanding that it is given in this way. Otherwise, it is like this. Let me give an example. Let us say a pot maker is making a pot out of mud. As soon as he prepares the pot, then he engages seriously to bring space inside the pot. Does he? To put anything inside the pot, it takes time. It has to become clay, has to become a little more stronger. You put it in the hot sun or somewhere, and then it is well baked. And then you can put anything, water, anything you put, nothing will happen. But to put space, does he put space? Is it not true that as even is making the pot, where does he make the pot? Outer space. Space is already there. In the space only is making the pot. And the pot is therefore is already, as even is making, the space is already there. In that space only the pot is being made. And there is no need for him to bring in space after making the pot. In the same way, Bhagavan, that who is already present in everything, the creation takes place, the creation of the world takes place in His presence. As even the creation has begun to become name and form, is already there. Is it not that you make a necklace and put gold into it? Do you put gold afterwards? You are making out of gold only. Let me make a chain and then add gold. So this is to understand that all-pervading presence is always there, but for us to understand it, that He is present everywhere, therefore it is said, Lokamavishya Ishwaraha Bibharti. Bharati means to support. That's why husband is called what? Bharta. In tradition, Bharta is the one who takes care of the family, therefore is called Bharta is husband. So it's called Bharta. And who is the one who is being supported? Bharya. To be supported. Bharya is what? Wife. Bharta, Bharya. Bharta, the one who supports. Bharya, one which is supported. Bhara, what do you know? Heavy. Bharya does not mean it doesn't be heavy, but Bharya means support. To be supported. So Bibharti means what? One who is supporting. Supporting entire three creation. What are the three? Bhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha. To be, there are, in between so many of them are there. So the earth, interspace and the heavens. And you can include all 14 lokas into that, really speaking. So all the three worlds, Bibharti, Ishwaraha. So therefore, Ksharam is one Purusha, Aksharam is the second, Uttama Purushaha is Paramatma, Avyayaha, imperishable. Because if the perishable world is supported by the imperishable law is supported by what? Imperishable presence. And that cannot be subject to perishing. Infinite is supporting the finite. Right? So if Maya, the law of this change is there, which is supporting all changes, the supporter of the law of change cannot be subject to any change. That is avyayaha. Vyayam na gacchati. Vyayam na vidyate iti avyayaha. That which is not subject to vyaya, change. Indestructible. Gurudev writes, this Trilokam can be interpreted as the world of waking, world of dream, and world of deep sleep. In our own personal observation, we as individuals are there in all the three states. It's not waker is somebody, deep sleeper is somebody, and dreamer is somebody. It's not. I myself is now awake. I myself is going to dream, and I myself is the one who is going to sleep. And because me being all the three, I remember all of this. What I dreamt yesterday night, I remember. How long I slept, I remember. And now I am awake. That also I know. So you are there in all the three states or not? Interesting thing is, when one is there, other is not there. Obviously. If I am awake, then I am not sleeping. If I am asleep, I am not dreaming. If I am dreaming, then I am not awake. At any point of time, I will take only one. Correct. Then, another thing is that since I am present in one and at the same time I am not I am present in the other, which only shows that I alone am going through all of them. Also, it is to indicate that one cannot meet the other. A dreamer cannot meet the waker at all. The waker cannot meet the sleeper at all. But I can meet all of them whenever I want. Swamiji, if you keep talking, I will go to the next one. I can recall, I can remember. No, interesting thing is, if you remember all the three, who are you? Are you the waker only? Presently what happens is, we only see ourselves as a waker who remembers dream and sleep. Correct? Dreamer does not remember the waker. Thank God. Can the dreamer remember the waker? No. Sleeper remember the waker? No. Sleeper remember the dreamer? No. Dreamer remember the sleeper? No. But I, the waker, can remember the dream, waking and sleep. Therefore, our strong identity is what? I am the waking individual. I am the waker. Vedanta says you are not that also. What is the argument then? If you are the waker, you should be present in the dream. No, I am not. As a waker, I am not present. So I lose my waking state, wakerhood. Correct? If a person is acting in a drama stage as a beggar and a king and the different roles in the two different scenes, or one more role, let us say, another a beggar, a king, and let us say a vapari, a businessman, in the third scene. So the beggar does not meet, the beggar cannot meet the king. Only in the movies you can see the double act. But in a drama stage, the beggar can never meet the. Sometimes you have seen somebody playing a mono person, but he will play many roles. But then he will stand in one side and talk as a beggar, and then go to the other side and then talk as a king. So, but at the same time, he cannot do it. So the beggar can never meet the king can never meet the businessman. But who can meet all the three? Or who can remember all the three? Who is neither the beggar, nor the king, nor the businessman, but one who is acting as. The actor can. Similarly, the waker being absent in dream and deep sleep, I cannot claim myself to be the waker only. So the one who is presently as a waker, who remembers a dream and deep sleep, also is subject to change. Therefore, you are not even the waker. Very hard to digest that. I am not this also. Because we are so strongly identified with this personality, with the body, with our position and then our relationship and all that. If somebody comes to say, that's why it's called truth is bitter. That's why after satsang, speaking about the truth, they will give you prasad, sweet. Just go home, have some sweet and don't be unhappy with what I say. I'm not even this waker. See, if I am the waker, I can never discard this condition. But I do. Completely leave it. Unceremoniously, without any regret, every day I renounce this condition, this state as being a waker. Don't we? I'm not a wife, I'm not a husband, I'm not a parent, I'm not a sister or brother, nothing. And what is your condition when you give up all of that? Peace. Right? You're not saying, I'm very, very unhappy when I sleep. Nobody is saying unhappy about it. Nothing. Not even any jantu will do that. Not only human, all living beings, they only enjoy the sleep when they go to the deep sleep. Interesting thing is, when I am not able to sleep one day, let us say at night, how miserable I feel. Why? I'm not able to give up. In renunciation, kasya sukham na karoti. Sannyasam sukhamev. When we renounce, what a nice feeling, nothing. So this wakerhood is also subject to be renounced. Then who are you? Paramatma. That's what it is. Tama Purusha Hatvam. You are the absolute being. And we look at that as an absolute being. Then, when I renounce my wakerhood also, then, are there many? That's a question Vedanta asks. Only as a waker you have manyness. You, me, that, this, that, plant, animal, male, female, and then Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all that. Jati, Niti, Kula, Gotra, Durakam. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says. As a Uttama Purusha, who are you? Jati, Niti, Kula, Gotra, Duragam. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dosha, Varjitam. Desha, Kala, Vishayati, Vartiyat. Brahma, Tattvamasi, Bhavayatmani. Atmani, Bhavaya. Manasi, Bhavaya. Please meditate on this. What? Brahma Tattvam Ahamasmi. I am that supreme being. Uttama Purusha. So to renounce this wakerhood, one must have the clarity of thinking. That's what Vedanta does. When we are overpowered by a problem or sorrow, yes, no doubt you need to take care of it, but not as a suffering individual. As a suffering individual, you will lose your focus. Move out and look at it. Detach and watch what should be done. If you are attached, you cannot watch. Not possible. And when you detach and watch the thing, you have clarity of mind. Okay, now this needs to be done because that requires my attention. That's all. Don't say that without me that nothing will happen. Without you, everything happens. Nobody is waiting for you to do anything. But you have assumed the role of taking care of things. Do it. And do not think that without you it will not happen. Everything goes on. The world waits for none. Therefore, Uttama Purushaha, Aham, Atma, Paramatma, this realization should be there. That's why this beauty of this reference to the three world as not just the world of three layers or the three spheres, but it is three states of experiences. Waking, Jagrat, Swapana, dream, and Sushupti, the deep sleep. In all the three, I am present, but I am not any one of them, though I presently feel myself to be more a waker than a dreamer or a sleeper. Dreamer never claim himself to be the waker, nor the sleeper can claim himself to be the dreamer. The waker happens to claim myself was the dreamer and sleeper, but even that waking state is subject to renunciation. Therefore, I am not the waker also, as much as I am not a dreamer or a sleeper. That wakerhood is renounced, it can be renounced only when we come to realize that I am Uttama Purushaha, Paramatma. Therefore, here Bhagavan continues to say, verse number 18, Yasmat Ksharamati-toham Aksharaadapi chottamaha Atosmi loke vede cha Pratitah Purushottamaha Yasmat Ksharamati-toham Aksharaadapi chottamaha Atosmi loke vede cha Pratitah Purushottamaha. Yasmat, since Aham Ksharamatiitaha. Ksharamatiitaha, I am beyond the change. Atita. Of what? All changes that are taking place being witnessed by me or seen by me, therefore I am not the change. And I am also not the Akshara also. Aham Aksharaadapi. Uttamaha. So I am also not the unknown, unseen law of change. Now, you see, it is very difficult for us to know how Maya is working within us. We know that the entire world of change are being supported by the hidden law of change that is taking care of the entire creation. The sun is not there, then the plants cannot be there. The water is not there, then plants cannot be there. Human beings or living beings will die when there is no water. There is no sun, there is no air. Think about it. So the sun, as the moon, as the water, as the fire, as the earth, which are there and continuously there, not created by any of the plants. Don't create the water, plants don't create the sun, plants don't create the air, plants don't create the earth. These the five elements are already there, on which all other things come and go. So as a Panchabhuta, it's Maya, it's working at different levels. Okay. In this physical body also, the Panchabhutas are there. Right? That's why it's called Bhutas. Bhutani, meaning, what is that? All we living beings are called Bhutas. Why? They are made of Panchabhuta. And it is said that when a person dies, in Sanskrit it is called Panchatvam Gataha. Panchatvam Gataha means he has gone back to the five elements. So our body, which has also got the five elements, supporting the entire sustenance of our body, earth is there, water is there, fire is there, air is there, space is there. So Maya as the gross law is supporting this me as the physical body, which is made up of the five elements. Now, if you look at it, the subtle part of the five elements constitute our antakarana. Mana, buddhi, ahankara and chitta. Mind, intellect, memory and ego. These are also Maya only. But we cannot see that as a physical entity. By body you can see, but mind you cannot see. My ego you cannot see. Ahankara you cannot see that. My memory you cannot see. But that is also Maya at the subtle level. In the living beings, especially human being will take into consideration. So we have mind, intellect and memory and the ego, identification. Now, much subtler than that, there is one more element called vasana. Vasana is also Maya only there. Now, any action that I take up, I can clearly see how my vasana is working there. If I can observe it. If you go to a restaurant and order the food, what you order is depending upon what you have experienced and wanting to repeat. Most of the time. Very rarely we go for something which we don't know. And explore something new. So what is the nature of vasana? Impressions. Deep-rooted impressions. These deep-rooted impressions are those which are deciding about how we should operate in the world. How we think. In other words, our thoughts that appear in our mind as mind are none other than the expressions of the vasanas. Maya within. So it is said in Vedanta, therefore, all changes that are taking place which are visible as the physical body, all changes that are taking place in our mind as thoughts and expressions, emotions, feelings, etc., are also governed by the aksharam. That is Maya within us. Outside we see as governed by Ishwara. In here also, that same Ishvara only is working through our Maya to make our life what it is. Bhagavan later would say that Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutan. He is operating not only as the sustainer of the entire creation, but within each one of us also. Earlier also it says sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. Therefore, this Maya in the form of vasanas which are within us, when we come to realize this vasanas is what is making me the waker. And when I recognize that I am not the waker, then I am also not the vasanas which I have, which is making me as the individual. Then who am I then? Uttamaha. Aksharadabi Uttamaha. That's what he says. Even that akshara which is there in you as vasanas, even beyond that is your presence. Ataha, therefore, aham asmi, I am, loke, vedecha, Pratitah ahamasmi. Well known in this world as well as in the literature of this philosophy, Vedas, as Purushottama. That's why this chapter is known as Purushottama Yoga. Bhagavan brings this point that recognition of yourself as Purushottama is the final teaching I want to give you in this chapter. But he brings almost at the end, saying that now you understand. Having explained so many things, starting with Urdu Moolam Atashakam Ashwattam, all that, and finally he says, recognize me as you, Purushottama. And I am very well known in the Loke Vedecha. In this world as well as in the Vedas. And when he says Ataha Asmi means what? I am, not I was. Asam means was. Asmi means I am. Bhavishyami means will be. He said Aham Asmi. Loke Asmi. I am. In you as Asmi only. And it is shorter form, in English become me. In Sanskrit, Padami, Vadami, Karomi, Kadami, me. English is a join, me. So Aham Asmi. I am as me. As me. As me means what? I am. What? Vede lokecha. In this world as well as in the knowledge, scripture of philosophy of living, Pratitaha, very well known, declared as Purushottama. Uttama Purushaha, I am the first and foremost being. As I said, without the subject I am, the other things cannot exist. When I wake up from the sleep, deep sleep, when I wake up, the moment I wake up and I understand as I am, then only the world immediately at once becomes what perceived world. Until I wake up, interesting thing is, let us say the previous day you did not eat lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever, and you fasted, let's say. Next morning, I'm hungry. Were you not hungry when you are asleep? What? How did you recognize you are hungry? Once you wake up only you know it. Is it not true? Meaning what? As soon as I wake up, first thing I do is completely identify myself as this. The moment you identify as this, the signals start coming. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm angry. Yesterday I fought with this one. Now I have to continue that. Yesterday we didn't conclude. So today we have to continue. So as soon as you identify, immediately all the various experiences will start. So that without me, there cannot be the entire world of experiences. So therefore, Uttama Purusha. The highest one, supreme being, I am. So when Bhagavan says Aham Asmi, Uttama Purusha, we should also understand. Individually we should Aham Asmi, Uttama Purusha. When I am saying Aham Uttama Purusha, what about, I don't know about that one, but Aham Uttama Purusha. It's not like everyone is Uttama Purusha only. Everyone knows that I am. Everybody is Uttama Purusha only. So that way, this particular chapter is opening up a lot of things to contemplate. When we listen, it is not sufficient. We must reflect on it. Okay, if that is the case, what changes I should bring about in myself so that I cannot forget this. People say, okay, Swamiji, nice talk. Until next week, I will. And next week, you don't remember. But if you can maintain this attitude of Aham Uttama Purushaha Asmi, I am the primary being and I am not even the waker. Waking is also a choice I made with respect to all these relativities, relative things in me, around me. And once in a while, I should detach myself and look at it as not as husband or wife or a brother or a sister. None. Aham Asmi. I am Uttama Purushaha. I am the primary being who has no relationship in this world. But I can choose to be one whenever I want. Then you can see the freedom, the joy, the happiness, loosening from the bondage. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.